What up, boys?
Hey, Katie.
No.
I had to change. She did this Zoom call with like this meeting thing with like this women's grief counseling group, and she logs on. It says Big Tolbowski. I'm like, oh, let me change your name real quick. And it's got me on camera like this, going, oh, let me change your name real quick.
At least it wasn't
COVID Juggalo.
COVID Juggalo 420. Welcome to $2 Sake, a pro wrestling podcast. I am your host, Aaron Varnum, and I am joined today, as always, by Big Mike.
Yep.
Tolbert.
Hey, baby, my friends.
And Cookie Masterson.
Yeah, buddy.
Cookie, yeah, you're in Charlotte once again, but we don't want a sequel to your hosting gig. Do you think that your internet is going to hold out during this podcast this week?
Listen, my internet is reinforced, and we are ready to go.
What do you mean by reinforced?
Well, basically, I took some duct tape and I wrapped it around the Ethernet cord, so hopefully it stays in this time. That's logical thinking, right?
Would you say that was non-Caucasian engineering?
I would say I rigged it. You know, there might be a word that goes before it, but this is what I'm saying.
I'm like Doink clown over here, Aaron.
I'm sorry. Hey, what's up? So we're still in quarantine. We're still on Zoom calls. We are still, I think this week felt like a week in the right direction. Like we're moving in the right direction. I didn't feel as trapped as we have in the past. I was able to see Tolbert this week in person. I was able to see Mike this week in person. It was a decent week. Did you guys feel a little bit better about our situations?
A little bit. This is the first week I actually did stuff outside the house. Like we hung out with your brother, played some pinball. Did a small get together of close friends and family. Had some dinner. It was fun. And,
Less than 10?
Yeah, it was great. Really good to play some pinball. I was jonesing.
Really?
Oh yeah, dude, it was great. And then let's see, got some fishing in today.
Oh my God, Aaron!
I did not schedule this.
Oh my God!
Now he's just hacking us now.
Yeah. Sammy Callahan is my boy, okay? And if you think, hang on a damn minute. Yeah, you see, we in the building, don't you? Don't you?
Damn it!
Hey,
yeah.
and Dave.
Yeah, boy. Yeah. Yeah, Aaron, you thought you could keep me away, didn't you? You thought you thought you could use your little technical prowess to boot me and keep me from doing a damn heel run-in on your segment.
That's right.
Okay?
This is my segment.
Yeah, last week you got us off. You kept us off, but we know people, okay? All right? We got friends in damn low places, all right?
Super duper low fucking conspiracy theory hacker places, man.
Yes. And I got a bone to pick with you, Aaron. Okay?
Is it about the link to your match?
Damn it, no, yes. How come you haven't given us our damn trophy for winning at the quarantine show, Aaron? Damn it, me and Dave are pissed.
Wait, you guys have a trophy? I don't think that they could barely afford
Listen,
services.
the trophy was the damn bottle of sanitizer that we left with, buddy.
That's
and a
right.
chick.
Also, we made a damn deal, Aaron, and you said if we won that match that you were going to post our 30-minute Broadway. Now, damn it, I want my scraps. I want my damn cookies.
We want our scruples, Aaron.
Now, Zane, Dave, you guys are you guys affected by the quarantine much like us? Are you still going a little crazy?
Fuck yeah, we're going crazy. What the fuck what kind of question is that? Yes, we have learned how to hack the damn national security of the damn world, and you're not getting rid of me, Aaron, until you give me a damn date. Or when my match will be given to me, damn it.
Post a link.
Now, what happens if I don't have the video anymore?
You've already admitted it, that you have this footage.
But I don't know. I tried looking and I can't find it.
Aaron,
What are you gonna do, brother? What you gonna do?
Where the fuck is our match, Aaron?
And now, who set this up? Who gave you guys permission to break into my segment like this?
Damn.
You don't need permission. We got the internet.
I mean, come on. We've learned how to fucking hack missiles, and fucking I'm about to have a knock at my door right now. Okay?
From who? Who's gonna knock at your door?
From the damn CIA or some shit, because I'm talking
The Lizard
over
Army.
Yeah.
Now, who has radicalized the Dawson brothers? Have you guys been listening to Alex Jones? Are you gonna eat your neighbor this week?
Listen, Aaron, there's only one thing to do in fucking quarantine, man, and that's fucking
Masturbate.
radicalize.
Oh, it's not masturbate?
Well, that too, but you radically masturbate. That's what I'm saying. Like, so we learned how to do it.
Look,
You're not.
let's use the masturbate metaphor. We are trying to climax, Aaron, and you are giving us blue balls, buddy.
That's all I want, Aaron. All I want is the. That's all. That's it.
Now, let me use the masturbate metaphor right now. You guys are fucking me in my segment. Get the fuck off the screen. Cut their feed.
Cut the feed. Cut it. Cut it right now.
This isn't over, damn it. This isn't over, you sons of bitches.
Let me tell you something, Aaron. Damn it, it ain't gonna work. Okay, this is the fucking heel run-in, so I don't know what you expected. I'm not coming here to be friendly. I want my damn match, Aaron. Okay? And there ain't no fucking way that you're gonna cut my feed this time.
I think I did. It's gone. Your feed is gone as of now.
The fucking lizard people.
I'm fucking still here, Aaron. Okay? You're not doing it. Sammy Callahan is a boy of mine. Hey, shit. Dave, fucking mom's calling, dude. Fucking mom.
Fuck, man. Fuck.
Fuck you, Aaron. I'm coming if you damn hell or high water.
This isn't over.
Get off of our screens.
Talk to your mother.
Press leave meeting, Dave. Leave meeting. Well, that's $2 stakes. Our opening segment.
Aaron, what did you tell me earlier? What did you tell me?
Now, did you set this up, Cookie? Is it? Are you the one that set this up?
You said there would be no heel running, and there's a heel running. So one of us did it.
So one of us is a mole.
Yes.
And I know one of us has supplied things to people that was talking to those people. And I think I know who the mole is.
I think I do too.
And his name is Tolbert.
Yep.
My friends.
Tolbert, fuck you. Let's go to our matches. For the Heat, the newly crowned Heat on.
Should we call it like getting heat?
Getting heat with Big Mike. Getting heat in heat with Big Mike.
No, definitely not that.
In heat with Big Mike.
In heat with Big Mike. This week he has got Jake the Snake Roberts against ravishing Rick Rude. Mike, tell me what got you all hot and bothered.
That's
in the
why
heat of the night.
What got you moist?
This is too much. Jake the Snake versus Rick Rude, Saturday night's main event, 1988. All right, so
were you born at this time? Were you born already in 88?
I was not born yet.
Okay.
No,
so Tolbert and I were the only people alive.
In 89. Well,
I was like 3.
And not many people are alive from this match, right? Just Jake?
Just Jake.
Oh, all right. So the link begins. Rick Rude's wearing tights with Jake's wife's face on them. He's thrusting and gyrating in their general direction as Jake and his wife walk in. Is his wife's name Cheryl?
Cheryl? I think so, yeah.
Are they was that a shoot or a work?
No, that was his shoot wife, and I think she went on tour with a little bit to kind of keep him and his demons in check.
Gotcha.
So they kind of brought her into the storyline. That's what he told me during his WWF produced DVD at one point in the mid 2000s.
All right. So anyway, Jake enters and you can tell he's really mad because Rick Rude is just disrespecting his wife with the tights, and particularly because her face is on his crotch and ass.
Now, Mike,
yep.
if Tolbert were to walk into a room with Amanda's face on his shorts around his dick area, what would your reaction be?
I mean, I would honestly probably just bust out laughing because, like, that's hilarious.
So if we were able to find a pair of pants that we could custom, like, talk to one of our artist friends, perhaps Travis, to make Amanda's face to go over Tolbert's shorts, you would be okay with it?
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is I don't know the storyline behind why he was wearing the face. Why
I don't remember either, but it was funny.
It worked out because, you know, they immediately, like, you know, start getting in the ring and, like, start getting heavy hitting action. The one thing I like right off the bat is this is one of my favorite commentary tag teams, which is Vince McMahon and Jesse Ventura. Every time I have one of theirs, I always get a couple chuckles from the back and forth, especially because, like, Jesse in this one is just laying in the full heel commentator.
I feel like, and we may have mentioned this before, Saturday night's main event was a special show that they would have every once in a while, and it would take the place of Saturday Night Live on regular broadcast television. So it would air at 11:35 on Saturday nights and take the place of Saturday Night Live when they were off season. So it was a big deal. And they would bring their A games to these shows. And every time you watch a match from Saturday night's main event, shit happens and it's very entertaining. And I think that that's maybe one of the reasons why they were so on point during this entire matchup.
Yeah, I mean, both guys, yeah, they look good. Rick's looking leaner than he was in one of our other matches with him. I love both of their quarantine flows. They got the
yes.
Beautiful curly mullets. Rick is accompanied by Bobby Heenan, and obviously Jake again by his wife. So we start. The match is pretty intense right off the bat. I mean, you know, Jake's offended and Rick's, you know, they're both trying to kill each other. We get some chain wrestling, early wrist locked by Jake, and Rude sells well. Like throughout the whole thing, the whole time, like it's not overselling like a Terry or a Rick Flair, but it's making a wrist lock look important, which I kind of liked. They tend to early on they're alternating like offensive move sets. Again, all of it's really just heavy and solid. You can really tell they've worked a lot together leading up to this. Is this before or after my match last week? Because I know they had a match at that event too.
So that match was, I'm not sure. It's around the same time though.
So yeah, you just tell these guys have been working a ton. Midway through the match, we get this weird shoe slap spot by Cheryl. Jake's holding Rick's head outside the ropes, kind of like pushing his chest and shoulders up against it. And Cheryl slaps Rick in the face right in front of the referee. It was really weird. Obviously, Jesse Ventura's going like freaking out, wondering why. What's up?
What is that noise in the background?
That's my child screaming because he doesn't want to go to bed.
Oh, good. That's the perks of being on a Zoom call.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'll just walk away and you guys can see me pantsless too. But so Jesse's going on, and I was thinking the same thing. Why was this not a disqualification?
Big Mike, meet Little Mike as he stands up. I'm not sure. Like, sometimes, you know, the refs, it could be like AEW where it's at the ref's discretion.
And that's kind of what I was wondering, but they throw to a commercial, which I unfortunately didn't get to see in the commercial. They come back, and they quickly say that she had been removed from ringside, but they didn't DQ the match, so they continued on. This is where Rude starts to get a lot more like offense in. At one point, he reverses one of Jake's DDTs, which is Jake's finisher, and he hits him with what looked like a flying headbutt and went for the pin, but he went for that heel cheeky kind of like pose on him pin, not an actual pin attempt. So Jake kicks out. Eventually, you know, the heel's like getting all this work in, and then Jake reverses a Rude Awakening, which is Rick Rude's finisher. And the crowd is going wild, and Jake hits the DDT on Rick Rude, but rather than going for the pin, he goes for Rick's pants and starts stripping Rick's pants off. At that point, Bobby Heenan jumps in, starts beating up Jake the Snake. Crowd's going crazy. Bell's going crazy. Disqualification. Jake starts getting his heat there. Jake starts getting offense in on Bobby, but Andre the Giant comes out.
That's right.
And saves Bobby Heenan from Jake the Snake. And so your definition or kind of description of what the Saturday night's main event was.
It was a big deal.
Now, because they're trying to get all this sort of stuff and commotion, and I mean, who wouldn't want to see Andre the Giant, right, in 1988?
And he was a part of Bobby the Brain Heenan's like stable. So like as a part of those guys, and this is like late era Andre. Andre's not really working matches anymore. This is after the Princess Bride movie came out, so that some of the heat and some of the prestige from that movie kind of has worn off, and this is the tail end of his career. I think he died in the early 90s. So Andre is just a character now, and it's a big deal to see him. So they only bring him out on certain times.
Well, and that's so he headbutts Jake. Jake tosses Jake out of the ring, and Jake goes for the snake. So Jake gets back in the ring with the snake. Andre the Giant, apparently not a big fan of snakes.
And that's a shoot.
Oh, really?
Andre hated snakes.
That's so funny because Jake is like getting kind of closer to Andre. Andre is circling the ring trying to get away or stay away from the snake. And Jake tosses the snake on Andre the Giant. What kind of snake was that, Aaron?
Now, that was a boa constrictor. Okay. Now, Mike, do you feel that something like that would have been okay in today's time with PETA and all these organizations? How do you feel? They threw a fucking snake on a giant man and just tossed it on him.
Yeah, I felt bad, actually. I literally wrote, poor snake.
Yeah, I feel kind of bad for the snake as well. And that was his gimmick until he, was out of wrestling.
Yeah,
he always had a fucking snake.
Yeah, he like throws it on him, and it doesn't like start constricting on Andre. It's just kind of dangling on Andre's shoulder. Andre the Giant either he passes out because he's in such fear or whatever. They do get a good shot of the snake kind of slithering around his leg and away from him, which is pretty gross. And the snake looks big on Andre the Giant. So it was a big fucking snake.
Damien was massive. And that, of course, they had multiple versions of Damien because they're not going to, keep the same snake all the time. So this is one of the Damiens, and he is huge.
Yeah. So long story short, Jake the Snake won due to DQ, but I don't think anybody really wins in this.
Now, Mike, I think that maybe – one of my favorite things that happened, you may have missed this. Andre had a heart attack.
Oh, that was legit?
No. So, like, the story was Andre had a heart attack and collapsed.
Yeah.
Bobby the Brain Heenan comes in,
and starts doing
checks
CPR.
his heart, and doing CPR on Andre the Giant.
I just thought that was the end of the thing. Like, I didn't think that was an actual. Like, I didn't think that was real.
Jake the Snake killed Andre the Giant on broadcast television in 1988.
Are you working me, or is that no?
I mean, it's a part of the story, but
he legit had a heart attack, or
no, he did not legit have a heart attack. Okay. But like that was the story.
I didn't know. See, the way you were describing it.
As a child, if I'm watching this and I see the man from Princess Bride, who I love, have a fucking heart attack and die on screen while another person tries to resuscitate this man because a snake was thrown on him, I would have been fucked up.
Yeah. Would you have been allowed to watch Saturday Night's Main Event? What time was it on?
I was two. But there was VHS tapes back then. Howard and Barbara could have taped it for me.
Yeah, it was a good match overall.
It was entertaining, right?
I like that style of wrestling. Where there's, I think Rick Rude went off the top rope once, and there wasn't. It was more just kind of not so much chain wrestling, but just like simple drop downs. And I love that the DDT is a finishing move back in the 80s.
Right.
I really appreciate that. I think we've talked about that on other episodes.
One of the things that Vince McMahon always kind of did, he doesn't sell the steak so much as he sells the sizzle. And there's all these other things happening that kind of makes it a more cohesive and entertaining story. You know, he's got the trunks that makes Jake the Snake angry, and then out comes Andre. Andre gets the snake thrown on him. So there's all this kind of what wrestlers call gaga happening all around, and it kind of becomes like a chaotic scene that's very compelling to watch.
Yeah, I really liked it. The only wish I had is if I could have had or heard a Jake the Snake promo.
Yeah, Jake is great on the microphone. And I know this may be your second Jake the Snake match in our year of existence, and I know this is more indicative of what kind of wrestler he was, a very psychological wrestler.
Cool. Well, awesome.
And speaking of Rick Rude, and we were talking about him earlier, and this is going to segue into your segment. Yesterday on Twitter, I found a Twitter account specifically devoted to the ravishing Rick Rude getting hit in the balls. And it's called Rick Rude Takes an Atomic Drop. And it's just GIFs of him taking it and overselling it like he just got hit in the plums. Were any of you guys able to see any of those GIFs?
I looked at it.
I watched all of them.
Is it an active Twitter account?
Yeah, it opened up this week. Like somebody started it this week.
Aaron has a bad habit of following these dead Twitter accounts. Like I had to unfollow Judy Bagwell on a poll because they hadn't posted anything in like 3 years.
Because she's still up on the poll. She can't tweet.
There's nothing else to tweet about.
Good to know, yeah.
Get her down.
But social media this week, Instagram, 125 followers. Great post, great work this week. Tolbert, he almost had a post a day.
Tolbert, I'm so proud of you.
You're doing well, man.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Tell us about your post, Tolbert.
Oh, let's see. Well, we had a few. Let me switch over here.
You're supposed to have this shit already pulled up, Tolbert.
Well, one's playing pinball at your brother's house.
That's right.
Because we're party animals, man. Of course, Travis's art is always amazing. And also the shipment of WCW sign you received in the mail this week.
Very excited about my WCW sign.
Yeah, it's very bright, apparently.
It is like, do you guys remember the episode of Seinfeld where Jerry lived across from the Kenny Rogers Roasters? And the neon signs of the Kenny Rogers Roasters were blaring, and it just made his entire house red? Yeah, I can't keep that motherfucker on that long because it honestly looks like my house is possessed.
I was going to say, did it have the blacklight effect? Like, did you get really disgusted with yourself when you turned it on?
It's like, it's just, everything's glowing now.
Wow.
Jackson Pollock everywhere.
That's a lot of cum.
Oh, geez.
Jesus, that's a lot of cum.
Oh, man.
Too much.
I forgot my epic largemouth bass pig.
That was a smallmouth bass.
That's a largemouth.
That thing was tiny, Tolbert.
It's a small largemouth bass.
Was that the only fish?
I caught a gar, too, but I didn't get him up on the bank. I didn't want to get him up.
Then you
on the
didn't
bank.
catch him.
Yeah, I kind of caught him.
All right, anyway.
For the record, I have been fishing. I saw the post. I have been fishing before. You don't have to take
Cookie! Cookie, you've been fishing before. Where have you been fishing?
I mean, this is all back in Raleigh.
No, I'm not talking about Plenty of Fish, the dating website. No, were you actually, like, did you bait a hook?
Baited a hook and everything, man. Night crawlers, worms, like, me and my dad, we went fishing plenty of times.
Now, I took Mike fishing once to my parents' house, and my dad down-talked Mike on how he baited the hook and said, that's not how we do it in North Carolina. You may do that in Ohio, but that's not how we bait a hook in North Carolina.
Yeah, that was a perfect Howardism. Speaking of Howard, Aaron, you sold your dad helping you build a fence.
Yeah, well, I was interrupted by two brothers that yelled at me quite much. Yeah, my dad and I have been building a fence around my backyard. It's now officially making the $2 Steak Studios a compound. So, once we get enough followers, we can actually convert to our money-making pyramid scheme cult that we have been planning this whole time.
The whole time.
I can't wait.
And all we do is just watch WCW matches and, talk about wrestling. But yeah, so we've been building this fence in my backyard, and my dad has just remembered how disappointed he is in my upbringing. Every single moment we spend together. Dad and I were drilling holes in one of the pieces of wood this week. I broke the drill bit. My dad, without skipping a beat, just walked away. Left me holding up a piece of wood for 5 minutes. Like, I was like, where did he go? And what happened? He didn't say a word. He didn't make eye contact with me. He walked away. My dad was disappointed.
And then,
yeah, man, drill bits ain't cheap.
And then the best part is he then explained to Davenport how to finish your fence, right?
And he didn't make eye contact with me the entire time.
he went through detailed instructions.
I was cuckolded by my father.
Oh my god.
Google that one, Cookie.
I don't know what it means.
Anyway, make sure, in order to bring this back, so Aaron, when you do finish that fence, go ahead and tweet a picture of it so we can talk about it.
And then I will build a deck.
Power to build a deck.
Yeah, well, I'll aid.
So Twitter, we're down to 287. So either, and the way I have to find these people that unfollow us, it's a little like cumbersome, and I couldn't find who unfollowed us. So we were actually either blocked by some people, or it was one or two of those sex bots that we never actually followed back.
My money's on the sex bots.
Cookie, it says that you're raising your hand.
Yeah, I was just playing around with Zoom. I didn't know you could do this stuff. No.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't know what it meant.
Pop the bubble. All right.
Put your hand down.
This week on Twitter, we actually, Aaron's WCW sign that he tweeted out, as well as a picture of, separately, and then a picture of my son with his murder hawk and a black eye. Both of those did really good. Aaron's Twitter thing, 82 engagements on the WCW sign, and Elliot's
cool.
Murder Hawk, 23 engagements. So both of those did great. But the best post we had this week was Frank Caliendo, the famous comedian and voice guy, liked and commented on one of our tweets. We did 2,300 impressions on that and 12 profile clicks.
Look at you, Mike.
So thank you, Frank Caliendo, and your 400,000 followers.
Mike, I felt this week I was just throwing a lot of stuff out into the ether, like tweeting a lot. And then Mike just comes in and slyly does this one little tweet, and it fucking crushes everything that I did.
So now's the time I'm going to go ahead and call to action. Make sure you follow us on our social media. Please engage with us, interact with us, send us funny things. Instagram and Twitter, we're at the number $2 steak _ Facebook is just $2 steak, a pro wrestling podcast. Please, for 3 or 4 weeks in a row now, we're asking people to engage with us and not get much. So the 6 of you that have Twitter, or the 12 of you that listen, and the 6 that have Twitter, and the 1 that uses it, hey man, just give us a little shout out.
See, I think that these people already follow us. Like the people that are listening to our show already follow us.
Like my dad.
I'm trying to see if we have any more actual reviews this week. We don't.
Good job. All right. Thanks everybody for engaging with us on social media. We're trying to grow this brand because, like Aaron said, we have a pyramid scheme sex cult planned, and
there's no sex, just wrestling.
Well, there is now.
Yeah.
Wait, what's all that come about then?
Oh, that's masturbatory because I'm lonely.
Oh, my bad. Wrong come. Okay.
Jesus. All right. This is a graphic episode.
So Mike, do you have a shit list this week?
I do have a form and a version of a shit list. Yes.
Is it about what we were talking about earlier today?
Yeah.
All right. Good. That's what I wanted to see. Yeah.
Yeah, that's involved.
Go ahead.
All right. So, reopen anything, people. North Carolina, any other state. I'm going to speak to the general audience first of that and about those people. So I can genuinely and generally empathize and appreciate people wanting to get back to normal, because who wouldn't, right? I mean, Cookie's over here pushing buttons on Zoom, doesn't even know what they're doing. So he's ready to get back into Aaron's compound and record, and I think we all are too. But, I can't stand these dumb fucks that are out there saying that, see, it wasn't so bad, and that people overreacted. trying to do this calmly, actually, because I'm getting the shakes. I'm getting so mad. But it doesn't seem that bad because that's exactly the reason it isn't so bad. It's because we did the right things. We're doing the right things. People are doing the right stuff. But 60,000 people are dead. That's not a small number. And that's what I get frustrated about. So in general, to those people, stop being fucks. But the main award to kick this segment and close the door on it, those dumb asses in Michigan,
Yes!
guns into the state house. Now everybody knows who listens to this podcast knows my appreciation for the state of Michigan and
That's right.
where it can fucking go. So
Mike is in heat.
You're already dealing with the worst and trashiest people in the country because they're from fucking Michigan. So and again, I'll empathize because they're simpletons. They don't necessarily understand exactly what they're doing because they don't have the mental faculties to comprehend and appreciate what they're attempting to do. But these spineless little twits took guns into the state house, and not because they're trying to pound their chest about the Second Amendment. They're trying to incite fear because they have small penises. No one ever loved them. And you know what? It's really just generally terrorism. When you're trying to incite fear in a populace, that's terrorism. And you know what terrorists mean and can do in America? They can go fuck off because they're giant pieces of shit.
That's right, Mike. That's right, Mike. Now, if the Steiner brothers were there, would you appreciate it any more or any less if they were a part of this protest? And now that one of the Steiner brothers' son is now a Steeler.
I mean, it would add nothing to it because I already looked down on them for where they're from and what they've done.
That's right. That's right. So I would like to say, Michigan, of all places, you have made Big Mike's
shit list.
All right, for the strong style cookie, you have got Tanahashi against Shibata. Give it to me.
Yeah, I normally have a monologue.
Why not? Why don't you have a monologue? Because you're in Charlotte?
No, because I got nothing for this, man. I just got nothing. They're pretty
match?
bland. No. I got something for the match, but my monologue is just going to be lacking today. I'm sorry about that. The only thing I wrote down was Shibata's wearing all black. He's a more traditional looking person, and he's way more focused. Tanahashi, on the other hand, what?
I literally I sent you 2 fucking huge articles last night at midnight to read about this matchup.
Will you wait? I will get there.
All right. I'm just saying because I'm
first
pissed.
First look. I'm like, first look. There's nothing there. I'm just like, all right, this is pretty bland. Tanahashi's more charismatic. He's got the flow. He's in the all white, right? I'm like, okay, all right, that's it. And then I read the articles. Because I want to know a little bit more about Shibata and Tanahashi. Is there real heat between these two guys? And apparently there is to some degree. Shibata is the guy who left when times are hard in New Japan Wrestling. And then he comes back and he's got a little bit of heat with the boys in the back. Is that correct, Aaron?
That's right. So there was 3 guys. They deemed them the 3 Musketeers.
Yes.
It was Nakamura, who everybody knows, Shinsuke Nakamura, Tanahashi, and the third one was Shibata.
Yep.
And Shibata decided that he had more of a chance in the MMA world to go and do that. So he left with all of the weight of NJPW, then was focused squarely on the shoulders of Nakamura and Tanahashi.
Yes. And they felt like Shibata was taking away a spot from a lot of, other young lions that, could have, filled in that spot. But anyway, let's get to the countdown.
Cookies, top 4. Number 1.
Now, I shit you not, I'm 12 minutes into this match, and I'm like, all right, Aaron gave me a dud for a match. Because in 12 minutes in, there's not much going on. The biggest spot so far was a suplex to the outside. That was it. But not long after I wrote that down, Shibata no-sells a drop kick in the corner and then commences to dropping bows on Tanahashi like he was in a Ludacris music video.
That's bitch. Get out the way.
Like, Like 5 elbow shots to the head is enough, right? Nah. No, it's not. He just keeps raining them down until I get uncomfortable. It doesn't help that the cameraman is like right over Tanahashi's shoulder, just firsthand watching this murder on film. Nonetheless, match picks up from here. 12 minutes in.
Number 2.
Not even a minute later, Shibata is no-selling. Again, when I say Tanahashi tries to drop his opponent on his head, he's successful, but he no-sells it. The fucker no-sells a German suplex, and then he drops Tanahashi on his head. And it just keeps getting worse and worse from there. Let's go.
Number 3.
Not even a minute later after that, Shibata... Oh, sorry, hold on. That was number 2. My bad. All right. So we all know the forearm spot. Mike hates the forearm spot. The back and forth between wrestlers.
I hate it for the most, pretty much all like American stuff, but like the Japanese strong style versions of it, like if you get Ishii and Suzuki doing that to each other, like that's legit. So yes, I do hate it most of the time.
But and I thought it was just going to be more the westernized version of the forearm spot. I was like, all right, it's about to die down again. It's not. It's used a lot in matches to get the crowd into the match. But these two use the spot, and like everything else in the match, it goes far too long until Shibata switches it up. So it's forearm, and then it's a snug shot from Shibata. And then I'm like, damn, Tanahashi just bitch slapped Shibata. Oh, there's another uppercut. Oh, Tanahashi's dead. That was literally the 4 things that I saw. Tanahashi literally drops to his hands and his knees. How did he die, you ask? Shibata does a fucking spinning back fist and sends his head into the 3rd row.
I literally did a spit take when that happened. I'm watching your match last night, and I'm like, all right, so the match is a little slower than I expected when I picked the match because I like those 2 competitors. Yeah. And then that happens, and then after that, I was just like, every other minute, I was just like, holy fuck.
Yes, exactly. I don't know what Shibata literally loses control or something. He makes Tanahashi literally get on his hands and his knees, and the ref is so funny during this whole thing because Tanahashi's definitely knocked out, but the ref is just as shocked as everyone else. He has no idea what to do, and he's just like looking around like, what the hell just happened? Because my guy is knocked out right now.
Number 4.
The end of the match wasn't far after this spot. Shibata literally picks up Tanahashi, goes for a GTS. Tanahashi rolls him up, but Bada kicks out at 2. Now, if this were the end of the match, I would have popped because I was already hooked because of the spinning back fist spot. But it's not. Shibata kicks out. He gets him back up to hit the GTS, kicks him in the face for good measure, just to knock him out a little bit more. The war is over. Shibata wins, moves on in the G1 climax.
So let me give you a little backstory on that. The year before this, Tanahashi beat a returning Shibata in the G1 and knocked him out of the finals with a roll-up. So it was a little throwback to the year before's final.
Okay. Now, do you know anything about that spinning back fist? Like, was that a work? Was that a shoot? Was it
I don't know, man. When I saw that, like, I was like a little bit shocked. I had a little inkling of the heat between these 2 men. Tanahashi wrote in his autobiography that Shibata is a good wrestler, and he thinks, and Shibata is also now the head trainer of NJPW America. So, like, if you're going through their dojo in California, Shibata is the one that is teaching you how to wrestle. But Tanahashi thought that Shibata was a little reckless in the ring and also a little sloppy. Like, a lot of his stuff was not necessarily protecting the other competitor.
It's more MMA based, correct?
And it is more MMA based. And Tanahashi kind of thinks that Shibata's style is almost too extreme for professional wrestling in a way that you can't go any higher or more risky than Shibata's style. Yeah. Like Shibata, like, will kill you in the ring. You're not coming back from dying in the ring, you know?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Now, boys, I have one honorable mention, and I want to get everybody else involved in this. So, Tanahashi, he uses one of my favorite maneuvers in this match. Just the good old Texas Cloverleaf. Like, if I was a wrestler, this move would definitely be in my arsenal. It'd be my signature move.
That's right.
Boys, it's a good move, right?
Yeah, it's Terry Funk loved it.
Exactly. So, boys, just curious, what moves would be in your arsenal? What would be your signature move right off the spot?
A froggy splash from Tolbert.
Okay. Tolbert with the froggy splash. Mike, you got a move in your head?
I mean, I said earlier, I'm a big fan of the DDT, man. It's what big guys, man, especially if like you're a little bitch like me and don't know how to fight. Like I'm just gonna try to get a hold of you and grab you. So if I can get your neck, you just drop down.
Yeah, Tolbert, what really would be your move?
Froggy splash.
Froggy splash. I knew it. You wouldn't do the inverted rolling thunder driver.
couldn't do that.
I think my move would be the brain buster.
Oh, the brain buster. Very nice. Very nice. Speaking of which, Tanahashi tries to do 2 shitty frog splashes in the middle of the match. I was going to write about it, but I was just like, you know what? I'll just say it. Like, they were shit. They were horrible.
Really? I thought one of them was good to Shibata's back. The first one.
The first one was decent, and then the second one, Shibata just blocked it anyway. I was just like, whatever. But
so
anyway.
Tanahashi as a wrestler, to me, it is kind of like New Japan's version of Shawn Michaels, where WWF was kind of going through a tough time, and then they put, the reins, like they gave Shawn Michaels kind of free reign of the company and kind of held the company up on his back for a little while.
I got you.
Until, the Attitude Era happened. And I feel that Tanahashi's kind of like that too. And they have a similar style.
I could definitely see that. I mean, all in all, this match was basically, long. It was super long. It was like 21 and a half minutes. And I would give it 3.5 cookies. It wasn't that good. Like I said, it was pretty long. It was basically 22 minutes long. 22 minutes! 22! No! Why me? Why me? Goldberg, where are you?
Heidenreich.
All right. So this is, when I came up with the rundown of this week's matches, I had a suggestion a couple weeks ago from our boy Travis, and Travis sent me this link, and I watched it, and I was floored by how Tolbert, you're going to have to tell us about this matchup because I was at a loss for words. You have got Heidenreich against Alabama Doink at the Golden Corral.
Yes, and you did not hear Mr. Vardam wrong there. This is in a Golden Corral parking lot. And we have 2 we'll put an emphasis on former WWE stars, John Heidenreich and Doink the Clown. But I think they just borrowed the Doink suit and gave it to their fattest friend possible to put on.
Yeah, that would not be the real Doink the Clown.
No, not by a long shot.
No.
It is, though, the real Heidenreich.
That is the real Heidenreich, yes.
That's him.
Poor Heidenreich.
So this is in Mobile, Alabama in May of 2016. So these guys are well past their prime.
May 21st, my birthday.
Oh, really? Happy birthday, Mike. This was a gift to you.
I would have loved
2016.
I would have loved to have been there.
Now, Tolbert, before you did mention that this was at a Golden Corral.
Yes.
And we're looking to have a pan of the audience, and the audience it's got a good amount of people. Do you think that these people came to see specifically this stuff, or they knew their audience and they were like, we are going to get a ring in front of a Golden Corral, and we know the type of people that eat at a Golden Corral.
I was about to say, I think all those people were there already.
Yeah, so they had just left the chocolate Wonder Fountain to go see some wrestling.
Yeah, in fact, the sign in the background says something about a cheese mountain or a
cheddar mountain.
Cheddar Mountain, yes.
Cheddar Falls. Cheddar Falls.
That's what it was, yes. So I think they were all really there for the Cheddar Falls.
I'm very interested in the Cheddar Falls.
But there just happened to be a wrestling match. But yeah, so they've got a good crowd. They've got a nice little ring, and if you didn't want to go to Golden Corral that evening for dinner, you also have a fine O'Charlie's in the background.
That's right.
And a Steak and Shake. I'm sure there's a Waffle House nearby, and a Texas Roadhouse not too far down the road.
I would have sacrificed my IBS that night just to watch this match live.
Yeah, so let's get to it. So Doink comes out, a very fat Doink. That suit is stretched to its limit. And this is kind of like a Where's Waldo of a wrestling match. We could definitely make like a Where's Waldo game out of this video. Just, because there's every stereotypical wrestling fan there. You just see some old wrestler past his prime come out and try to build some heat. Doink comes out and tries to build some heat, and it's just mean and racist, and no one really reacts to it.
Doink is an angry clown.
Yeah, he's an angry clown. A little bit. He says the cameraman is the reason they should build the wall.
We would assume that he was Hispanic. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's he called another gentleman. He's like, "Hey, there's Kamala over there."
Oh, God.
Yeah. It's like the only
so
African American guy in the crowd. He just happened to be tall. He's like, "Hey, that's Kamala over there."
That's not the kind of heat that that's cheap heat.
That's cheap heat. He's calling people fat. He's calling people ugly, but they're really not picking up on it, and it's funny. It makes it comical because it's like at one point he calls some lady fat and says she needs to go on a run, and the crowd's just silent. There's like not a word. Like
that's what they tell themselves in the mirror every morning.
Yeah.
Oh,
half of them probably knew him. One of my favorites is the kids in the background you hear over the camera, and I think the "Can I pet that dog?" kid makes an appearance.
That's right. My childhood version of me was there.
He wants to see Donk. Where's Donk? I want to see Donk. Come on, Donk.
Can I see that Donk?
Like, Doink. So he built some cheap heat to no avail. It's just not working for him. Heidenreich makes his entrance, and he looks as confused as the sound guy does.
Yeah.
Because he tries to play his music, but it just keeps cutting out. It'll play like 10 seconds and then cut out. But Heidenreich has obviously been hanging around the Cheddar Fall fountain. He is pumped and ready to go. He's been hanging out somewhere.
He was basted with cheddar. Now that's
a bigger than I.
Yeah. Well, that's also a common occurrence at all indie wrestling event that I've ever been to. The sound guy has to fuck up at least 2 entrances.
Oh yeah, for sure. But Heidenreich takes it in stride. He's working the crowd. He's like, "Hey, how you doing? What's up? How you doing? Hey, you look like Rick Grimes. You watch Walking Dead?" He's just wearing the crowd. He's like, "Hey," but he's like, it's not so much hype and pump. It's so much just having general conversations with the crowd. Yeah, I'm gonna go in here and kick this clown's butt. Yeah, he ain't my friend.
That's confidence.
Hey, how you doing, kids? You all my friends? Hey. He yells that about 15 times. Hey, baby, y'all's my friends. Oh man. So we get to the match. Right before the match, so we have 2 cameramen. Can't forget to mention this. 2 cameramen. We have a guy that looks like he actually has a camera filming the match. He gets these nice pans of the Golden Corral sign from time to time. But my favorite part, and Aaron, you probably picked up on this and had to appreciate it because it's probably happened to you every time you've filmed a football game.
Yes.
Filming the match, the guy's trying to come in. Some guy's like, "Hey, man, what? That's a nice camera. You this going to be on TV?" And he's obviously filming the match. And the guy's like trying to be nice. He's like, "Yeah, man, it's gonna be on Facebook." Facebook? How am I supposed to watch it on Facebook? It just keeps going on and on.
What's the link? Send me. What's the link gonna be?
So that was great. So we get to the match. Not a lot of wrestling. This is also supposed to be a Falls Count Anywhere street match. So we get, some cheap little moves in this rinky-dink ring. Do you notice, like, half the turnbuckles pads are, like, falling off the ring? Anyway, we get a lockup. We get some wrestling in there. They take it outside of the ring immediately, and they take it to the streets. Literally, the 4-lane street that's running by. I mean, imagine any Golden Corral and O'Charlie's anywhere across America. It's going to look exactly the same at an intersection with a CVS in a Waffle House or what have you.
Hey, Tolbert, tell me, is it blocked off, man? Is the street blocked off?
It's not. But the event staff is really on their game.
They looked both ways.
Yeah, they look both ways. They stopped traffic. Some of them almost didn't stop.
No.
But they take it across the street. And we have a bush spot, first bush spot on $2 steak.
In the CVS topiary.
Yes, the beautiful CVS Gardens of Mobile, Alabama. We see the only maybe actual wrestling move this whole video is, I guess, half of a suplex or half of a body slam into a bush. Then Heidenreich tries to pin him on the bush. You think that's going to be but Doink kicks out. You know, he ain't going to be pinned in no bush, man. So,
as a groundskeeper for our rugby team, and your appreciation for things that are, well groomed topiaries and stuff like that, how did that make you feel?
I would have been pissed, man. That's a high quality shrub they ruined right there. Doink's a big boy. That actually had to hurt Doink a little bit. That had to sting. But they make their way back across the road. But the lead up is funny because you can hear everything on the camera. They're wrestling, and he's like, "Hold on, man. Let me stop traffic now. Come on, guys. You go. Come on." Get over there, and they stall because they're trying to entertain the crowd. The event staff and the coordinators like, guys, no, seriously, get out the fucking road, like for real. So we get some more action. At some points, whoever edited this video decides to fast forward because it's so slow and awful, and you think it's just going to be a slight fast forward to get to the spot. It's like they held the fast forward button for like a minute. It's like, and you see them like bumbling around, getting to the next spot. In live action, oh my God, that had to take forever. Jesus Christ. I would have gone and got me a plate from the buffet. Came back to catch
anything happened? Did I miss anything? No.
Well, someone parked their poor Nissan Maxima a little too close to the ring.
Yeah.
Because the next spot we have is the Maxima spot, a Nissan Maxima spot. A pole comes into play. Doink goes to hit Heidenreich with the pole. He moves and bashes the back windshield right out of it. Obviously, this is set up. It's, someone's car. I think it's Doink's car. He's like, you know what? I just want to put on a good show. Y'all take my Maxima.
It's for the kids.
Yeah, it's for the kids. The crowd actually gets pretty into it. They're like, "Oh, you're going across the crowd." Well, they spend about 20 minutes wrestling around that Maxima, busting the windows. You actually see a pole spot from Heidenreich go to hit Doink, but he does the slowest, like, "Oh, I'm gonna dodge it," and he busts out the front windshield of it. It's hilarious. You see him kind of roll all over it, trying to pin each other. You think you're actually going to see a DDT or a suplex at some point on top of the car. We do get a pretty sweet sleeper hold on top of the car, and Heidenreich says he's going to put Doink to sleep in the car. You're going to sleep in the car.
That's probably where he's actually sleeping that night because he might be homeless.
It's going to be a little drafty now because there's holes all in the window. But that leads to probably my favorite line of the whole match, where Doink is out cold on top of the car, and Heidenreich goes to choke him with the pole. And he says, the ref goes to ask him if he's going to give up, and he goes, he can't answer because he did. But he gives us so much conviction.
And now, earlier in the evening, Heidenreich grabbed a sign that says, "Doink needs to diet."
Yeah, there was. Someone actually made a sign.
And Heidenreich, the consummate poet that he is, kept saying, "Doink needs to die."
It.
I
think in my notes I wrote, "Hey, John made it funny." Oh, man. I also wrote, that poor Maxima. I didn't deserve that. Yeah, so the car spot was terrible. They're swinging at each other with poles and windshield wipers. And then we get another fast forward till we get to the ring, right? Because it takes them forever. It takes them like 20 minutes. All right. We got them in the ring. let's see what's gonna happen. Maybe we'll actually see our arm hook or something like that.
No.
We see a couple Irish whips, a splash from Doink, or a splash from Heidenreich. Doink tries to reciprocate, and does the Heidenreich does the shittiest little I'm gonna move out of the way and let you hit the turnbuckle, but it's so slow he kind of just nudges out of the way and then finishes the match with a kick to the belly. Kick to Doink's belly, like a little punt.
Yeah, he's like King Hippo. That was his one weakness.
Yeah, and that's what ended the match. Just a simple boot. Just gave him the boot, man, and he went back and probably hit up Cheddar Falls. But I definitely recommend. If there's any match you watch this week, if you look below, click on the links, watch this one. The YouTube comments on this are hilarious. Oh my god, it's great. It's a piece of gold. One was like, I've watched this 4 times and I don't know why.
Yeah, I watched it multiple times this weekend, and I was just confused.
We could have talked about this match for an hour, just everything that goes on. And
very dense.
Very dense. Very dense. Oh,
Tolbert, do you have a haiku for us?
I do. All right. Man, that clown's racist. Hey, is it steak and shrimp night? Don't worship the pipe.
No.
And don't worship the pipe, because the very last line that John Heidenreich leaves us with, right? After he wins the match, he's been cradling this pipe. And he says, worship the pipe, baby. Worship the pipe. Pipe's my friend. I was like, Heidenreich, the pipe's not your friend, brother. Lay off the pipe.
Well, that was a match. Now, earlier in the podcast, I was supposed to bring this up. Mike, can you tell me how you broke your brand new bicycle?
You broke it?
Oh, I didn't. Well, so I was all excited to ride it, and
oh boy,
got it together. Tolbert came over, put some air in my tires. We did a couple laps. It was all good. Went for a ride the next day, and all of a sudden, like, my pedal starts feeling weird, and tighten up, go for a little bit further. Now it feels really weird, and I look at it, and the pedal had stripped its crank arm. And doing some research, it's because I'm a big man.
That's the same thing that happened to my bike.
Yeah. So, well, you're fat too, then. So
no, I've lost weight, Mike.
Apparently, it happens a lot with big guys. Or powerful guys. So maybe you're just powerful.
I was just so powerful.
So if you don't screw it in tight enough.
The bike I was so excited to ride, I got to ride 2 miles before I stripped the wheel out.
I'm just such a powerful man, Mike, just like you. We're just virile men.
But I was excited because, I was disappointed because it took 2 weeks to get the bike, and then I broke it within like 2 miles of riding it.
Yeah.
And I had to drop it off at the bike shop, and I thought it was going to be another 2.5 weeks. But the guy turned it around in 3 days, and I'm back to, pedaling my fat ass around the neighborhood.
That's right. It's all that nugenics that we are on to just bring us power and powerful pumps in our workouts.
Yeah, the quarantine 15 really it stripped my crank arm.
Cookie, what are you weighing now?
Probably about 245.
Okay, that sounds more like it. Yeah. All right, so thank you for listening to $2 Steak, a pro wrestling podcast. Next week we have guys. I actually have picked your matches for next week.
Cool.
How exciting is that?
I almost pulled a Tolbert though, because you put it in the drive, and I almost loaded that up and watched it.
Have you watched your match already, Mike?
No, I didn't. No.
All right, so next week Mike has got Junichiro Tenryu against Stan Hansen, a very fun matchup. Cookie, I went a little bit different with your match picking. You actually have a WWE match from 2005, Kurt Angle against Shelton Benjamin, and maybe one of my favorite matches of the evening. You have got, for the high spot, Terry Funk against Hawk. We have got a Terry Funk match and a Stan Hansen match next week.
Yes, stay tuned.
It's exciting.
Thank you guys for listening. And hopefully we'll be out of quarantine soon. Bye, guys. I don't fucking know how to end
What kind of ending was that?
It was terrible. I don't know.
Bye, guys.
Bye.